Pinups, Cool Cats, and Comics on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Pinups, Cool Cats, and Comics. I am Dennis, and this is Teresa.
Hi guys, what's going on?
It is freezing out there.
It is ice cold. I could not open my car door. I had to climb in through the back, so that was a good time.
I just want to say thank you for Remote Start, and I just had it put in by Street Sound recently because I have the new car, and I'm glad I did because my door would have been frozen too.
Yeah.
I actually heard the ice cracking as I was trying to open the door.
Yeah. Mine isn't working, so.
Yeah, we got to get over there and work on that.
That's a bummer.
So, I just want this to go on record. I hate this weather. So when the summer comes, everyone's like, "Oh, everybody complains," and then when it's hot, they complain it's too hot. I will never complain that it's too hot, but I
I've
will
never
complain it's
complained
too
it's
cold.
too hot.
That's why I want to go to Arizona.
But you know what? I'll take this over snow.
Yes, that's true because with weather like this, the snow doesn't go anywhere. It lingers forever, and no matter how hot it is, you don't have to shovel humidity. So, again, I will take this over anything.
Yeah, you know, I always loved the heat, and then I started getting tattoos, and I feel like my tattoos absorb the heat, and it gets like so much hotter.
Okay.
I know it sounds nuts,
Yeah, I've never.
and you can absolutely judge me, and that's fine. But I remember when I first started getting my sleeve done, and I was in the heat, I was like, wow, my left arm is particularly hot.
I guess
I
I'll have to
felt
get
the same
tattooed.
thing. I got a tattoo, and then I decided to walk the streets of Boston for some reason the next day, and it was not fun. It felt like sunburn. Like, just that whole part of my arm was
actually,
just sunburned.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was very interesting.
Still love the heat, though, so we'll take it over snow.
Yes. Speaking of Arizona, I'm going to try to get there again this year, as well as New Orleans. So
Yes,
hopefully you could
that would
join
be
on one or both.
I would love to.
So we have some new stories to tell, like our old New Orleans story, which started this, in fact. So
Yes, that's true.
you want to talk about what our guests are going to be doing today?
Do you want to talk about K-Logistics first?
We will.
Okay.
But just give them a heads up of what's going on.
All right. I'm excited and nervous for today's show. We have two lovely guests on today, and they are going to tell us a little bit about themselves because I don't want to do you any dishonor by saying the wrong thing.
You could go first.
Oh, my. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just throwing you out there.
Yeah.
Okay, my name is Rachel. I am a medium/tarot card reader. I'm also an AV technician.
There you go.
So I got like a little tech side to me as a little gypsy side to me. Been doing that for a long time.
All right. Do you want to throw your Instagram handle out, or?
It's perfectlypeculiar_.
There you go.
And hello, my name is James. I am a psychic medium. I've been doing this since I was 15, so that's about 4 years now. My Instagram handle is 21 Century Mystic, and I'm just excited to be here and to see what comes through. Yeah.
Very exciting.
Now, one thing they keep telling us on the show is they want to know more about us, which is why we've had a couple of shows without guests. But we like having guests. That's part of
We
the
do,
Cool Cats,
yeah.
part of the Pinup Cool Cats and Comics.
I have a tendency to get awkward if you guys haven't noticed too. So I feel like having other people here I'm sure you understand,
Same.
It breaks it up a little bit, and people get to learn about us as we have different guests and different types of guests on the show.
Well, that's what I think this is the best of both worlds, because not only are they going to know about us through our reading, but we have cool guests at the same time, which
Right.
we could explore and
The
do
best
different
of
things
both
with.
worlds. It's
Exactly.
a pun
Yes.
for
Yes.
the other world.
I love it.
Oh,
That's
I like
awesome.
that. I didn't even think of it that way.
That's awesome.
So before we actually get started on that, let's get into some things. I have some shows coming up.
Yes, don't
Because I
forget.
always forget. First of all, want to give our best wishes to Cyclone. He noticed after a show last week that he was feeling under the weather, and he still is sick, which is why he
that's
wasn't
a
live
bummer.
tonight. It was a replay of his show.
Sorry,
But
Cyclone.
he's always been a great promoter of ours since we've been on this network. And
Yeah.
so all the best to you. Hopefully you're back in action by next week. I have some shows coming up in February. February 6th, I will be at Bar Louie in Massapequa. That is a free show.
Yay.
So anyone complaining, oh, I don't have money, I spent $150 to see Sebastian Maniscalco, so I don't have money for you. Well, now you
waiting for
come to a
that.
free show. I don't know who's on there yet. I know he's still working on the lineup, so that should be cool. February 7th, it'll be my first time at the Greenwich Comedy Club, thanks
Very
to
cool.
Aragonis and Joan Butera.
What day is it?
That is a Thursday, I believe. Actually, I have to check. It's February 6th and February 7th. Actually, I don't really have the calendar on the phone. I won't take this out.
All right, let's see.
But it's coming up soon. I will have more details on both. I don't know who's on that show yet either.
6th is a Wednesday, 7th is a Thursday.
So it is Wednesday and Thursday. Okay. So also, I am trying another Aragonas comedy contest on March 23rd at the Loft in Belmore.
Nice.
So that, again, I don't have too many details on that, but I will definitely need all the support, especially for that one. Because last contest, you guys didn't come out in mass, and no, I'm not looking at you.
I'm a
I'm
bad
just,
friend.
you know,
I
you
have a
are,
little
but no,
girl.
I'm just kidding. No, but you know, for a contest, not that you need a big crowd to win.
It helps.
But it definitely helps.
It's the same thing in
'cause,
bartending, though. When
yeah.
you guest bartend and it's your first time at this bar, if you bring in 100 people, 20 people, 10 people, that first guest bartending gig, it shows. You
Right.
can never have to bring people in again. You just need to bring people in for that one gig.
And you can win over a crowd that's not yours, but if they're, if it's a
Absolutely,
contest,
absolutely, but it
they're
takes
there to see
time.
their friends. They're going to cheer a little louder and longer for their friends,
Absolutely.
as they should.
Yeah.
So it's Belmore, it's my hometown, so I better see a lot of people there. Otherwise, I'm going to come looking for you. But speaking of friends and family, how about Frank Zambuto? I know he came down to visit you the other day.
Frankie, who we absolutely adore and talk about every show, did visit me on Friday along with your lovely girlfriend.
Yes.
And
while
I had
was
a
at work.
great time. I had a wonderful time. It was a lot of fun.
And you know why Frank is also really special?
I think I have an idea, but why don't you let them know?
Because he is the man to go to at Kayla Logistics, which is our sponsor.
Yay.
So let's get into that a little bit. Kayla Logistics, where your business is our priority. Moving products you use every day across the country and around the world. Contact Frank Zambuto for all of your domestic and international logistic projects. Frank has over 20 years experience working with many name brand companies in the apparel, cosmetics, as seen on TV, and electronic industries. For trucking, air, and ocean cargo on all 7 continents, all you need is one solution. To all Cool Cat listeners, just mention our show, and Frank will offer a free cost and transit time analysis for all of your cargo. When cost and time matter, we deliver. Frank Zambuto and Kayla Logistics, where your business is our priority. And how can we reach Frank?
You can reach him at his direct line, 347-536-3933. And I'm going to make you
And
do
his
the
email at frank@kaylalogistics.com. And the show started. We need a longer intro. We got to work on that. But V, if you could please invite Missy J on the show, because I don't want to really start looking into that too much and ignoring it. But another one of our friends is looking for help too, Paul Bond. He's
Paul.
raising money again for the kiddies.
The kitties.
A couple of them need procedures, and they're not cheap. And
Yeah.
with the weather, you know.
Yeah, that's something that I worry about because all the cats, he takes care of all the cats in the outdoor,
Yeah.
the feral colony, and it's very cold. So imagine how you feel when you run from your car to the house. Imagine how these animals feel that are there
Right.
day in and day
And
out.
even for an outdoor animal, this is much.
It's
It's too
still
much.
cold.
So he sets
that's
up,
the argument.
Like little homes and stuff for him. But again, if he sees one limping around or whatever that needs a procedure, he
He
will
takes care of them.
do it. So please help Paul Bond raise some money.
There's
Thank
a
you, John.
GoFundMe that should be linked.
Yes, V just posted that right now. Thank you, V.
Thanks, V.
And so let's get into what our topic is.
I'm excited and nervous. I'm not gonna lie.
So
I know you feel the same way.
Yes.
So I guess the way to get into this is we've had our experiences with psychics and tarot card readers.
Absolutely.
I know it can be a controversial topic for a lot of reasons. One being that anybody could buy a set of tarot cards and go, ooh, I'm a tarot card reader, I'm a psychic medium, I can do this, I can do that. And there's a lot out there that aren't. They just, they want
Right.
to make the money, they're sideshow attractions or whatever. But it takes away from people that really can do it.
Right.
And I personally consider myself an open-minded skeptic, which if you guys don't know what that really is, it means I'll
sure
believe
they've
something,
experienced
but you have to prove it to me.
Oh, yeah.
And
Skepticism's healthy.
I've gone to enough of them that were fake, so I always was like, yeah, whatever. My first real experience was I was invited to a psychic party, which it was supposed to be some guy, basically you sat back to back and he gave you messages from dead relatives, so I went because it was a party, it was
Yeah.
food, drinks, whatever. I was like, yeah, it sounds fun, it's $20, whatever, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
If he could prove something outside of the general, ooh, I see somebody with an R in their name, If he was doing real stuff, I would have given him credit, but he wasn't there. So he sent his wife, who's a tarot card reader. I was not prepared. I had no questions prepared. But the one thing I did notice, which I'm hoping I can redo today, we talked about, when I went over the cards, I actually did feel a pull over one of the piles. And she gave me a reading, and I argued with her the whole way because everything she was telling me at that time I thought was impossible. One specific story, because I don't want to waste too much time on it, was she told me I was going to get a promotion at my job. And I said, no, I'm not. She goes, yeah, you are. I said, no, I'm not, because I was in a one-man department. There was no way to be promoted. So I said, what's the time frame on this? She goes, a few months. I'm like, yeah, okay. So I walked out of there thinking, yeah, she's another one. A couple months later, the guy at the job left. My boss was partners with this other company. He bought them out. The guy left, and he asked me if I wanted that position. He said it's basically going to be like a promotion. You're going to get a raise and everything. So
Amazing.
she knew more than I did about my own life. So
Yeah.
ever since then, I always, knew that, hey, some people might
Something's
have
out there,
a
something's
little
going
something,
on.
and it can be
Yeah.
believable. And we actually had this discussion, what was it, 2-3 weeks ago now?
2 weeks ago, I think.
We just started talking after one of the shows, and we found out you had this ability. So, like, hey, it's
Yeah.
a great opportunity to
Yeah, it was definitely.
on air.
It was a surprise to me. When I was younger, I thought I just kind of had like an active imagination, and I was like, oh, I'm able to like, I see a person over there, like, and no one else seems to address that person, so that's just kind of me, and they look a little bit different, so like that's just me. And then I never said anything to anyone, and then around the age of 20, I actually met a girl that's like my sister now. She introduced me to tarot cards, and she was very sweet about it, and I was sitting there and I was like, you need to teach me how to do this. And she's sitting there like, well, it's not really for everyone. Like, she was trying to like tell me that, and I'm sitting there like, no, you don't understand. You need to teach me this. Like, this is something that I need to know. And the very first time actually that I read cards was, I didn't know this guy's name, and I'm reading his cards, and then this grown man just gets up, starts crying, and leaves the room, and I'm like, I did something terrible. Like, I should have stopped. I'm like a horrible person. He comes back. He's like, everything you said is completely true. I'm like, okay, and can I tell you this? And I've never told anyone anything that I saw before. And I told him, I was like, a group of people are standing behind you, and 2 of them are stepping forward. And I described his grandmother and his father, like, who he didn't get to say goodbye to either of them, exactly what they were wearing on their funeral, like at their funeral and everything. And they were both just saying that it was okay, that like it's okay that he didn't get to say goodbye. Like, both of them are okay, and they're moving now, and they're
Right.
like, it's okay. And that was the first time ever that like I made the connection that me seeing things was actually something that meant something to someone else. And then there's definitely been times that like I'll say something and they're like, no, I don't really get that, and they just like walk away. But then there's also times that I'll just sit there and I'm like, you're not okay. Can we talk about this? Or like, I go out to dinner with my family and like I can feel like all of the feelings that people are feeling 3 tables down, and like it sounds crazy, but I swear that I could feel the cancer in someone's head that they had like 3 tables down, and I could see who it was. And like as soon as he walked into the room, I just looked at him and it was like, okay, he needs help. And then like I was tuning into their conversation, and he was talking about treatments that he was getting, and it was like, okay, so he's okay, and I can like leave that. But it was like, until you have moments like that, you just can't comprehend that stuff like this is possible.
No, it has to be emotionally exhausting.
Yes, it can be. It's definitely that. I mean, sometimes on my job, I'm a photo booth attendant, and I go to Sweet 16s, I go to weddings, bat mitzvahs, all of those things, and I'm in a room of 200, 300 people, and all of them, I can feel all of their emotions, and a lot of them, most of the times, are happy, but also I can feel that one aunt that's like spiteful that like this girl's getting married. And so it's like I can like feel all of these things, and even then it's like I'm sitting there, and for some reason when they're introducing the family, I'm getting a grandma that's like trying to connect, and they didn't introduce a grandma, so she had passed, so I made that connection, but at the same time I'm not about to go up to this like happy new married couple saying your grandma's reaching through and she's happy for you. Like, so it's definitely picking your moments, but it can be exhausting sometimes.
I believe it.
Yeah.
As much as they say it's a gift, I'm sure it's a curse at the same time.
It can be. There's definitely times that like I'm lying awake and I can hear all of my neighbors' thoughts and I'm just trying to sleep. And then there's other times that like it makes amazing connections with people. There's the people that are out there that are intuitive, and a lot of us are growing recently and a lot of us are reaching out. We all find each other, which is really great, and we all get to help each other out, just like the hats. Like it'll just make you grounded by putting on a hat and just secluding you to this little area of who you are, of just being like, okay, I'm fine, I can go on through the day. But I couldn't have got that information without randomly somehow meeting James. So it's like,
Yeah, everything's all connected, which is what my practice is all about. Like, it's all about showing how everything's connected. That, like, the reason I'm getting information is not because I'm special. I've just found a way to see how we're all connected, and that all of our information is shared, and I'm just picking it up to then transfer a message across to help in some way.
Now, when did you realize that you could do this?
So I grew up empathic, so I could feel the emotions of other people. I could also really feel who's a good person and who's a bad person. I could just feel like their emotional baggage. And then around 12 years old, I got into meditation and started meditating. And I was really just focused on healing my inner world, my emotional self. And this was in 7th grade. So like I've always just had a calling to the mystical, the metaphysical on some level. And then around 10th grade, one day out of meditation, I had this beautiful, just heartfelt meditation where I was crying, went into the shower, and then my sister had come home with friends, and I just heard in the back of my head, I need to talk to my baby, and then a name. And then I get out of the shower, and there was a new friend there, and then I found out his name was the name I was hearing.
Wow.
And then I was like, there's this woman, she just appeared to me in the shower. So we all sat down, my family, all of her friends. I just got a notebook and just started writing down everything that she was saying to me. And I'll never forget, my hand had written the word cancer, and I felt an intense pressure in my brain. And I said, there's an intense pressure in my brain, and the word cancer had just been written out through me, and his mother had passed away of brain cancer.
Wow.
So this was my first ever experience channeling spirit, and from there it just sort of took off. Like, it was just like I had this ability, it developed, I didn't have to go to classes or anything, it was just sort of there.
Now, can something like this be taught? It's
I
because to me, I would think either you have it or you don't. If you do have it, someone can expand you on it. But
So intuition is like a muscle. It's something like you go to the gym and you work out your muscles. Intuition, which is all psychic work is just learning to listen to the thoughts that are in your head. So everyone has it. You know, you think about someone and then they're calling you, or you make a right that you normally do and it turns out there was an exit on the place you normally go. Like, just little
Okay.
things that your intuition tells you. There are ways to develop that. So like meditation is the number one point. If you want to develop your intuition, you have to meditate. You have to learn to calm down your mind, and you have to learn how to just silence your ego. Because it's all about just silencing your thoughts, who you are, your ego, so you could get clear information. So I do believe that it can be developed. Just like how there are people who are born really good at music, and they're just born great singers, there are people who, you could become a great singer, you could learn, get a vocal coach, become a great singer, and that's the same thing in the psychic spiritual arena. There are people who are born for it, and then there are people who can develop it.
I think that's a beautiful way to explain it too, because the people that I have known that were interested in it and then try to find like a mentor of some sort, you always get that one guy that's like, you're just supposed to know that, and they kind of make fun of it, but it's like, you know, people don't look at it that way of silencing their mind and focusing, and that's such an excellent way of describing it.
Thank you, yeah. Well, and that's just how it's been given through me, so yeah. Like, it's just developed, so thank you.
You're welcome. So how, I don't know
I
what
was
to
just
ask
gonna say,
next. I'm
you
like
ready?
so like,
I say we get your reading done.
okay.
Let's
all
get
right.
into it.
Okay, well, I'm going to talk about my first reading a little bit first.
Okay.
I was kind of like Dennis, where I was very skeptic. I grew up Catholic, and I always felt a connection to spirits. I was named after Saint Teresa, and I lose things often, so I pray to Saint Anthony pretty much every day. And I have a couple of crazy stories with that, where I was modeling, and I needed black gloves for a very specific event. This isn't my first thing, but this is one of those weird moments where I found one black glove. They were vintage, so it's like I couldn't replace them. It had to be these gloves. And I found one. I'm like, where's the other one? Where's the other one? I started praying to St. Anthony, and like an hour later, like right before the nick of time, before I had to leave for the event, I found the other glove in an old box at the bottom of a hall closet. Like where I found it was in like the weirdest spot. Like I don't even know what possessed me to look there. But my first experience was I was at a really low point in my life. I was really depressed. I was really trying to figure out who I was and what direction I wanted to take. My friend told me to go to this woman. She's like, listen, it's amazing. It will give you direction. And I was like, fine. So I went, and I was a little disappointed because she kept talking about a friend of mine, and she kept asking that I don't want to say the name. And she kept asking for a specific name. She's like, who do you know named, we'll say Joy. Who do you know named Joy that passed away? And I was like, I don't know a Joy. I'm like, what? I didn't know a Joy. It ended up being my friend's mother that committed suicide.
Wow.
And she started going on and on and on, telling me all these stories, and it all made so much sense that it freaked me out. Like all these things she knew were like, no one else could know this.
Yeah.
And I walked away. She also told me some other stuff that was really personal, but at the time I was like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So I was very close to my
Yes.
grandmother. And she's like, you know, your grandmother doesn't like the music you listen to in the car. She likes to drive with you. My grandmother and my mother used to drive everywhere together. My grandmother's always her passenger. And I was like, okay, like whatever. So I get in my car, I turn the radio on. I used to love the band Linkin Park. I was like obsessed with it when I was like 12, and when I was 12 is when my grandmother went to a nursing home, so it was like the last music that she heard me listen to. And this was like 5 years ago, so it was like Linkin Park's Closer from their first album popped on, and like they don't play that anymore.
Yeah.
And I just started bawling because I like felt this presence of like my grandmother, and I was like, that chick knew what she was doing. So that's my first experience that kind of sealed the deal for me.
Yeah.
But now I'm a little bit nervous to do this as a live read.
Live,
Yeah.
So
Your whole
my,
soul's out there.
and my life is so different now.
Yeah.
So I guess.
Got a couple of people tuning in. Teddy Mack, fan.
Yes.
So keep going.
Yes. My friend Teddy.
Says
I
you're
love
right,
her.
incredible. And Tanisha says hello.
Hello.
Hi. All right.
So how do we start?
Okay, so a lot of people read cards pretty differently. My friend that taught me, she puts like different colored candles on the table. The candle on the table freaked me out when I was getting my cards read. It just made me uneasy. And even halfway through her reading, she blew out the candle because she could feel that I was uneasy and it wasn't okay. So I have stones that I usually give, and like each stone have like different meanings and stuff like that. Like citrine is just like a happy stone. It's like cleansing, like purifying, stuff like that. I wear obsidian all the time. That's like protecting of like for me and everything when I go out into the world and stuff like that. When I read cards, I say this to my mom all the time and she gets really mad, but when I read cards, my goal is to make you cry. I'm not going to do that to you today.
You've told me.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't
I'm
wear
sorry.
black eyeliner, so we're good. It's all right.
My goal is to make you cry. I'm not going to sit here and tell you you're going to have kids and you're going to have this great fancy life and everything like that. And if you have that, and I'm sure it's in the cards for you, that's all great, but that's not going to help you tomorrow when you have to go back to work and deal with the same stuff that you have to deal with today. So when I read cards, I try to bring up the deep, dirty stuff that you don't really want to address.
Oh boy.
All right.
But at the same time, it's not going to be that bad, I promise. But it's it's definitely a very different way. So when you do go out there and you are going to different like mediums and psychics and stuff like that of how they read cards, like James reads them very differently than I do. Our goal in the end is still the same, to let you heal and to bring this stuff forward so that you can address it and move on and continue your life. But even like my cards, like you can see, are all like dark and bright colors, and his are all like happy and everything. Like there's very different ways to do it a lot of the time. So that's like one thing also to just kind of know when you're getting your cards read, of like, okay, maybe it didn't work out because of the style or the way that they're reading cards. Like maybe the candle on the table freaked you out and you closed yourself off and then they couldn't read anything for you. You did healing on me and you told me to close my eyes, and this is my first time in like his house and everything, and my eyes are closed and I'm standing there and I'm freaking out silently, and he just tapped me on the shoulder and he's like, you can open your eyes. It's okay. Like they told him to like let her open her eyes. She's freaking out. Like he was like, thank you. Like just needed to do that. Thank you. So it's very different for a lot of people, but in the end, hopefully the message is just to have this healing and this moving forward. So you're right-handed?
I am.
So your left hand is your dominant hand, like spiritually giving and receiving energy. So you're going to hold it in your right hand and shuffle with your left. It's going to feel really weird.
How do I shuffle with my left hand?
Just the way that I was doing it.
Like this?
Yeah. So you can have either one specific question or you can keep an open mind. If you have a question, just keep in mind that something important may come more important than your question. So how many times have I asked the cards about boys and I like this boy and I need something to happen and I address the cards and all the cards are like, you want to get your career in order first? Like, come
I think
on.
I am
Okay.
good. I think I'm going to keep an open mind.
Okay. They're telling me to take from the bottom. That's interesting. So we're just gonna do like a 3-card. Normally 3-card is past, present, and future, but while we're reading them, they could spread out to be something different.
Okay.
So this would be past. I need my book.
You're allowed.
So tarot cards have suits to them, just like cards do. So there's pentacles, there's swords, there's wands and cups, and there's also major arcana. So all of them mean something. So cups are full of emotions, wands are wishes and mystical things, swords are breakthroughs or breakdowns, and pentacles are materialistic things like money and job and stuff like that.
Okay.
And all of these suits are kind of the lower ones. The major arcana cards just mean they're a little bit stronger in their message. So this is pentacles. So it still it has like a structure to it.
I'm nervous.
I'm dyslexic. So if I start reading this, don't freak out
No,
that
you're
I'm
good.
like silent.
You're good, you're good.
The Five of Pentacles is a card of hard times. It comes from the form of illness, job loss, financial trouble, or rejection. Above all, there will be worry, much worry. This anxiety is damaging. You must find a way to quiet the mind during this difficult time and rely on meditation and visualizing to find peace. So that's your, not like childhood past, like recent past. Son of Pentacles.
The artwork is really pretty on these cards.
Mm-hmm. Also, cards are more powerful if they're gifted to you. So my brother gifted me these cards.
Very cool.
The good side of the Son of Pentacles is that he is loyal and determined. He is trustworthy and wholehearted, but sometimes this figure becomes stubborn and persistent to a fault. This, combined with his quiet nature, results in his being hard to get to know, socially awkward at times. He commonly has only 1 or 2 close friends rather than many. And I feel like this card just is different than this one. Father of Wands. The Father of Wands is a man of mystique and charm. Others are drawn to him naturally. He is welcoming with open arms and loving heart. Usually he'll find himself involved in the healing arts as he deeply consults and is true to life. He's able to find hold steady. He's able to hold strong and steady during conflict. So I see these two. This one's not your past. It's not past, present, or future. But I see it as more of like warning. I just keep getting warning that, like, so on a bigger spread, we usually put a foundation below you. And it's not coming as a foundation, but it's coming as like, these are your foundation of who you are, of this strong person who can be persistent at times and can be stubborn at times. And it's telling me that this is coming, that this hardship is coming, but you need to remember that this part is more important.
Okay.
That you need to remember that this foundation of who you are is more important than what this hardship is that is coming. And because these are both like personality cards, even though it's like pentacles and swords, it's telling me that like this is both of like who you are, of this strong person. And that needs to be more important than what this hardship is, of staying strong, whatever this may be that's coming.
Ooh. I've had enough hardship.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, at the end of every reading, it's, none of this is set in stone. You could get the death card and that doesn't mean you're dying tomorrow. That means that there's going to be a loss, or there's going to be something is going to come to an end. A lot of people are very scared of the death card. They never want that to come up, but it's not the end of the world. And even then, when someone reads your cards, now that this is important, you could realize that, say, this is what's coming up. Well, what could it be? Okay, well, I've had this bad habit coming up, and I can realize that it could go deeper. So try and stop that bad habit now and be strong in who you are. And that will eliminate this, because these aren't set in stone. This can change tomorrow, but that's on you.
So this is basically strength, and this is, it could be a habit, a hardship, because I have a lot of bad habits. So I know if my husband's watching, he's sitting there at home laughing.
That's how I'm getting it. It's not, and it's never set in stone that it's the end of the world, of this is what has to be. It can definitely just be, you can recognize something before it happens because the cards have brought it forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm actually not going to cry.
Well, she did say she was going to go easy on you. So.
Yeah, just a little one.
So I think that I can handle it.
Do you have any questions?
I'm not really sure what to ask. It's actually very awkward to do this live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I really didn't think that it would be.
Yes, it is.
And I'm sure that if it wasn't live, I probably would have a bucket of questions to throw at you. And now I'm like, well, what do I ask? It's out in the world forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not really sure how to feel. Your turn.
Okay.
You ready? Okay. So you're going to shuffle these just with any intention. If you want to know about something particular, you could just set an intention and we'll see if it comes through.
Now, do I have to do the reserve?
No, just
I could
however.
do
You
it,
could
okay.
spread
Alright,
them
good.
all over, get your own little essence in
Because
there.
that looked a little difficult to do it reverse like
I
that.
had to really think about it, which
It's kind of the
surprised
point.
me.
It's kind of the point to bring you out of your element, to
Yeah.
focus you on shuffling and putting your energy into it.
So this is just a book, and this is a book, and this is a pen. And so it's I'm not writing anything. What I do is I scribble and scratch. It looks really crazy. It looks really weird. But what it's doing is I'm releasing. I'm just focusing and allowing my mind to sort of just like go crazy. And that allows me to then connect. But one thing, I will get into this. Do you mind if we talk about people on the other side for you?
No.
Because just as I'm sitting here, there's a female energy coming forward, and feminine energy could be for you, so just be aware.
Okay.
It's a feminine energy, and then she makes my body hot, which means that she passed away of cancer or a disease throughout the body. Something spread throughout the body. And then there was a reference to, but felt like you helping brother or helping another male after her passing, having to be like emotionally there. And I don't know if you also brought this, you and other people brought this person gifts, because then they're just referencing thank you for doing this. They're not really referencing a side of the family. Okay. There's just whoever this female is, she might pop in with the cards, so just be aware. But there's a feminine energy. There's also heart, so there could. Ooh, there's my mic.
Another difficulty of live reading.
Yeah, exactly. Because there was a reference to chest. It could just be my anxiety, but chest. So be aware of a woman also with the chest. This could be the same woman, but I don't know if something spread throughout her chest. Because they gave me my symbol of heat, which is cancer or something spreading throughout the body. And as I'm connecting her more now, she's referencing it towards the chest area. So that's lung, heart, or feminine area. So just be aware of that, and if it doesn't connect immediately, I often say this during readings, ask around, the validation is somewhere. So I just had to get that around just because it's there. So now I will pull these and we'll see what's coming up. Wow, so you're just powerful, powerful, powerful. Okay, so these are angel cards. They don't really read anything negative. They just bring up things that we need to highlight and things that maybe need to shift out of our life. So this is your past card, which is a major arcana, which means to me, that means it's like a big soul purpose. They're going to highlight something big in your soul now. So the card says, listen to your intuition, have patience, consider carefully what you want before acting. So that's the quick message. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scribble, and I'll get more information about how that connects. Is that my breathing?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. A lot of weird things happen while I'm reading. It's just because I'm physically picking up on everything.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, sorry to you guys and the audience for my
it's
deep
okay.
breathing.
I don't think they mind.
I don't think they care. You guys don't care.
Okay. Okay. So immediately they're just bringing up this month of January and that you have been coming to finances differently. So you changed an outlook, perspective, or habit you have towards finances, and they're showing me the green thumb, which is my symbol for continue, keep doing that. That's funny, they're sort of laughing. I don't know if now you put a buffer between you and your finances, like they're just referencing that, like, you have, I don't know. Okay. They're like, slow down. Yeah, so they're pretty much just showing me that in January, in this change in the finance, there's like this buffer, and I don't know if it's you have to ask someone or there's someone else that's also helping with this buffer. Because they're laughing about how, like, you're like putting so much pressure on yourself about spending so much money that, like, you set up something where, like, oh, well, I got to go through that and I won't do that anyway, so I won't spend as much money. This is past. This is something that you've probably did going into January or started thinking about. You're thinking about, like, maybe I should start up something. It's totally connected to finance and how you deal with finance. So follow through with that, whatever that is, however that connects to you. Follow through with that. Okay, so this is also what happens during a reading is they will highlight other people in your life to give you guidance on how to deal with them, because they just referenced a younger female and she felt like daughter, but not my daughter. So there's a younger female that's technically not your daughter, but feels like your daughter, and they're referencing, pretty much they're telling me that she has the same gift that I have. So just be aware that there is someone, whoever this female is, and it feels like somehow they're referencing sister. So I don't know if this sister has daughter, but there's a reference to daughter, and then they're referencing it to sister, and that the daughter is the one that's a little more spiritually open. So just be, if whoever that is, whoever you feel like that could be, just know that she might exude certain things that seem different emotionally, and just know that that's because she is sensitive as well, just like how I would be. So I don't know if there's, and it's sort of personal, but we won't really talk about it. Just know that there might be someone who they think, because they make me feel like they think she's like has ADHD or something, like there's something else, but in reality it's just that she's sensitive. And so they're just referencing guidance of that. So whoever that could be, just sort of take that with you. Okay, and so how I work is I also work with messages. So I also believe that I'm connecting to angelic level, and so the angels love to just reference our own inner healing, our own inner journey, because they're referencing 2018, you started going out on the limb more, and you started just letting go of anxiety and using your voice more. And they're just saying congratulations for that, for using your voice on how you wanted it to be more. Because they're highlighting the whole year of 2018, it was a big thing about you trusting your voice, trusting your expression, trusting how good you can express. And so they're just referencing to keep following that, because they showed me my symbol of green thumb again. So I'm going to move on to present. Can I still go? We're good? Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
So you got another major arcana, which is the moon. And it says, so this is present, this is where you are. Important psychic insights, events behind the scenes, release the fears that hold you back. And immediately as I'm connecting, I'm being told that your family, because we all already just referenced this younger female, they're referencing mother energy. Mother's connected to the angels. So you know that mother growing up, if she was sort of airy fairy type, know that that's actually because she was at a higher vibration. She was this being of compassion. They're totally just referencing mom with the angels. And they're also referencing this with you. So just know that, I don't know if you've been in experiences where like you shouldn't be here, because they're just referencing that you have always had a protection over you.
Holy shit you've been through.
So just know that that's true, that you really are protected angelically. And they're also, I say they, just angels, they're referencing, just be aware that you're a healer. So people come to you for emotional help, support, and they acknowledge that. And because of that, as all great healers do, you attract the people that need the most healing. And so they're referencing that there are still some people from your past that are just, they feel like they're not in your immediate life anymore, but they're like out around you. And they're referencing that it's finally time to just send them off. They're referencing one person in particular, and they're just referencing that this person is just, they're just showing me that energetically he's at a lower vibration. So he's not like living life to the happiest. Okay. He's like, there's a loss. And it feels like, if I'm going to be honest, like brother-friend connection. So just be aware of that like, they're not making it immediate. They're just referencing that because you are a healer, you attract people, and there's still this one person that like gets that gear turned. They're also just showing me that this year, and they're referencing that you're going to hate it, you're going to have to be on the computer a lot more. I don't know exactly what it is, but and I don't know if it's you have like your own office that you're gonna have to rechange up, because they're referencing like springtime, so there's a new mechanical thing coming into your office. So just be aware, and it does feel like springtime, And they're referencing that this is going to be good for your work ethic. It's going to be really good at making sure that development is really good. So whoever this woman is, she's like funny because like I just see her like in the background, like as I'm connecting to what's coming through, I hear her in the background like, tell him to tidy up. He hates to tidy up.
That's definitely true.
So whoever this female is that's protective over you, because there's this total protective energy over you, she's like, I love you, but you got to tidy up that sock drawer. It's looking a little hideous. And so I don't know if you smell perfume or if you smell other people. As weird as this sounds, they're just having me reference that I don't know if like people have smells too. Just be aware that spirit is connecting through your sense of smell. So whether, because they just randomly showed me like you getting out of your car and like randomly smelling perfume even though you're outside.
Okay.
But also if you have smelled perfume, know that this is this female coming forward. Because there's just a reference to you smelling spirit at certain points. Know that that is real for you. Okay. And it's funny, your angels are being very persistent on making sure it's not extremely obvious, but they're just referencing that a friend of their reference, feels past, but it feels urgent. There's a reference that someone either passed away or got hurt and somehow you blame yourself and you're still holding on to guilt. Because they're referencing a male figure. We're just referencing that there's another male figure and it felt like contemporary friend. And then I just heard he needs to release the guilt. So I don't know if you had to let go of a friend that really needed your help. Just whoever this is for you. So I say this in every reading as well. Sometimes the validation doesn't connect right away. What that means is that the seed has been planted and as time goes on, that validation will come to be. So if it doesn't connect right away, one day it might just hit you like, that's who he was talking about. That's who I'm still blaming myself over. And it totally is another male contemporary person. You might have worked together because there just feels like there's a really strong brotherly but like not emotionally intimate connection, but like you were very connected to this person. And it feels like it was through work and somehow things went awry, something might have happened to him and somehow you're still blaming yourself. Totally just hearing, let that go. There was nothing you could have done to change how it happened. Whoever this is. So, and it feels like that this person might still be alive. So I don't think they pass in that way. There's just a reference to you holding guilt about it. And this could be present. There could be someone in your family who you're not talking to, or like someone who's reached out to you that's a male, that's a friend that you don't talk to. There's totally just a reference to that there's someone that you pushed away and you feel guilty for it. So totally, like I said, just be aware of that. And so I'm also just seeing that what I'm just being told is they just showed me, it's weird, they showed me your eyes and how blue they are, and then they were just referencing compassion, and that you have this great gift of compassion, that you really just, no matter who it is, you could just show up compassionate. You could just immediately take care. And then they were referencing, because through my symbol throat, and then they were referencing that you're going to really this year begin to spread compassion through many outlets of communication. It feels like 2019, your big message is going to be sharing compassion, sharing this open-heartedness. Because they just show me like you wanting to really help people, like really wanting to make a shift in some way. So know that this is going to be a thread in 2019. Okay, so I'm going to move on to your last card, which is your future card. So although this is present, I have no choice of what comes through. Some things about the future comes up. So this is a future card. It says Knight of Air. Intelligent, decisive, idealistic, and tireless. Events that occur with great speed. Take time to carefully review your options. Creative solutions. Okay. They're just referencing that there's a female friend of yours who's good at computer, which makes sense because you're in here, but there's just a reference to, I'm just hearing the word design. So be aware that there is a reference to a female, and it feels like she's going to help with computer design in some way. She feels like she's really good. You might already know her. You might already know someone who knows her. Feels like she's around your energy. There's going to be a highlight of her in 2019. Whoever this female is that's really good with computer design, and they just show me like her moving like objects on like a computer screen. Weird.
Okay.
You think this reading's for you, but it's really just about like the people around you and how they're affecting you. So every reading's really different. So they just told me that you're not the type of person to like do a lot of planning. So they're referencing that this year you've actually written some things down that are really big goals, and they're referencing that that's good. Whether they were in your phone or like actually real, they're just referencing that you're not the type of person to like write it out to get it done. You'd rather just like make a mental checklist and get it done. But they're just referencing that in regards to 2019, you actually decided to write things down to be more career sort of goal, and they're referencing to that was good for you to keep writing your goals down, because that allows you to focus and to create a little bit more. So I'm just asking if there's any last messages. Okay. They're just referencing sinus migraine. I don't know if you suffer from sinus issues or migraines, but they're just referencing that, and that somehow it's affecting your sleep. I also don't know if it's sleep apnea. So be aware that they're totally just referencing this, and they're referencing some, and I'm not a doctor, but they're just referencing like an herbal thing, like a cough drop that could get rid of all of this sinus tension, because they're referencing that it's affecting your sleep in some level. Whatever this sinus head thing going on, it's not brain, it's like front of the head.
Right.
That it's affecting your sleep, and that you need to really get up on a little more sleep. But yeah, so that's just immediately what came through for you.
How do you feel?
Pretty cool. Yeah. Some of the stuff I might have that aha moment later on, because I'm not going to say it's not true, because I did that once before and I ended up being wrong.
Yes, exactly.
Some made perfect sense, and it was dead on.
There's
so.
a few things I was like, I want to
Yeah.
I was like, because I've known Dennis 10 years, and like you were saying some things, and I was like, come on, say something, Dennis.
Perfect. So.
Yeah, I didn't want to stop him because time.
And it is
was running
awkward on
out,
air.
so
I don't know.
didn't
You
want
know,
to,
it is very awkward. I didn't expect me to get as awkward as I did with you. I was like, the whole world can see this, right? You know,
That I didn't care about, but again, I didn't want to stop him because I was watching the time tick away. Because really, we are out of time. But
Okay.
real quick, you want to promote yourself or how to get in touch with you?
Yeah, so if you're interested in getting a reading, you could message me at 21 Century Mystic on Instagram, or you could message me on Gmail at readingswithjames@gmail.com.
Rachel?
You can reach me by perfectlypeculiar_ on Instagram. I haven't really done too many readings like that though, so probably should go to James.
And we'll be back next week with hopefully Amy. Just got to confirm that 100%. And we're going to touch some
you guys
different
remember
topics.
my wonderful friend Amy, my gorgeous model friend.
Yeah, we were going to talk about ownership of certain things, like tattoos, music, dances. So that'll be next week. So thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next week.